See, I'm holding this. Always you are supposed to observe how I am going to hold. Okay, so see, I'm placing a rest also. Okay, so that I'm not going to apply more pressure. And this is a modified pen graph. Okay, see, when I pass it, I'm feeling a catch over here. This catch should not be present. Okay, so always remember, trim this part. It is just a demarcation line. Okay, which is supposed to demarcate between the crown as well as the root.
Sure.
See, I'll show the difference now. So I'm just marking. This should be convex. This still line. The convexity on the labial side should go towards the root side, and the concavity should be towards the crown side, whereas on the mesial and the distal side, again I'll trim this because these are the excess material. Okay, the cervical line is more on the mesial side or the distal side? More on the mesial side. Okay, around 2 to 3 mm. See, this is just a line. Then you have to polish it. Here the convexity is towards the crown and concavity is towards the root. The length of the root is more, means you have not done the measurement only properly. Okay, so if I look into this tooth, the tooth is not polished properly, or irregularities I could able to see. These are the excess facts. And if I see here, okay, as I've told you, the crust of curvature should be at the cervical 1/3. Here it is at the middle 1/3. Even the fossa, it should be S-shaped fossa. Here it is not S-shaped fossa. If I draw a midline, see, and even the incisal ridge is very thick. Fossa only you have not done. Fossa should be deeper, and there is no groove. There is no groove, developmental grooves here, and everywhere there is an excess material which is present. Okay, so even the overall lingual convergence is not done properly, and the overall surface is not smooth. The root is not conical shape. The root should be like this. Okay, so if I go with this, the measurement is wrong. Side determination, yes, I could able to make out. Mesoincisal is wrong. Okay, could able to make out, but you can do it still. Fossa is also not present. Lingual convergence is not present. Yes, demarcation between the cervical line is done. Polishing is not done properly. Cingulum is there, but it is half done. Okay, mesiodistal dimension, mesiodistal diameter is there, but labio palatal diameter is more when compared to mesiodistal diameter. Okay, so this is not there, this is there. Okay, crust of curvature, it should be at the cervical 1/3. Here it is at the middle 1/3. Okay, cervical line, yes, she has done cervical line. The measurement of the root is very long. Okay, shape of the root is not conical. Developmental groove is not done. Apical third of the position of the root is very thick and it is not tapered, and position also it is, though it is in the middle one, I can give cut mark. Which side lateral incisor? Which side lateral incisor is this? Okay, I'll just start showing the mistakes from this. Okay, if I look into the tooth, you have done a disto-incisal angle more rounded, and the mesio-incisal angle also is rounded. Okay, this point is okay. And if I look into the tooth, if you see, there is a concavity. Okay, so you are not supposed to make it concave. It is almost straight. If you just see the tooth, so it is almost straight. see the difference after carving and here it is concave. Okay, the overall lingual convergence you have not done. Okay, the overall lingual convergence, holding the tooth, you are supposed to trim from the lingual side. And these are the excess. If I see here, these are the excess. You have to trim that one. Okay. This gives rise to overall lingual convergence. The fossa part also here, U-shaped fossa. When you are doing the fossa should go in flow. Okay, should be smooth, so that you can able to see only the mesial and the distal marginal ridge. That's it. And you do have a grooves here. Okay, you are supposed to represent a grooves on the. Here you have not mentioned the grooves. You are supposed to give a groove. Okay, mark the grooves also. And if I see a tooth again, labio palatally, again it is concave. What you have done here, you people have trimmed more at the middle one third. You are not supposed to trim more at the middle one third. Okay, you should not touch. If I divide the tooth into three parts, I am supposed to carve at the apical one third and show one side. Okay, just apical one third, and on the cervical one third. See the form now. This side you see the form, this side you see. This is concave profile. We need the root with a convex profile. Okay, cut mark. Let me stay there. Focus madam. Okay, in this I will be showing the difference between the mesiodistal dimension at the crown level as well as at the cervix. Okay, if you just look into the teeth, this one, if any of the maxillary lateral incisor or the maxillary central incisor, this mesiodistal dimension is more when compared to the labiolingual dimension, at least 1 to 1.5 mm. Okay, but in this carving the mesiodistal dimension is less when compared with that of the labiolingual. Now how we are supposed to correct this? We should start trimming the labiolingual dimension. So measurements plays a very important role. If you do the crown measurement properly, the root also follows the same measurement. Okay, in the maxillary lateral incisor, the mesiodistal dimension is more when compared with that of the labio-palatal dimension. So here one more aspect you are supposed to know here. So as I have told you, it is at the cervical one third the maximum convexity is present, but here it has taken overall even at the middle one third. So I am going to reduce, since we have also increased the dimension, so I am just reducing here. Okay, if I reduce, just see only the crown part, because we are supposed to reduce the labiolingual dimension, right? Yes or no? Yes. See, till here you are supposed to reduce. This tooth hasn't got the form only, because it is almost taken a convex profile. Here if you see, it has taken the seat form, right? These are the excess material. You are supposed to take it off, trim it off. So if this is the thing, so draw the midline. I'm going to trim this. how much excess is there. Okay, so this much excess material, so means the measurement is not done properly, right? So you're supposed to measure the tooth. See, such a big tooth, huge tooth it was, right? So the final finishing should be, and you also find sometimes like this sort of porous. So always when you are selecting the wax block, you should see the wax block and you should see in a light whether there is a porosity is there or not. If there is a porous in the exams, just make sure that you return that wax block. Okay, or else see, if I, no matter if I carve, look at this, I'm not able to get the smooth surface. If you just look into this too, okay, you have taken 360 degree, right? ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ louder idnalla. Okay, so if you just look into this tooth, okay, just this is a 360 degree of the carved tooth by your side. Okay, the mesio-incisal, the mesio-distal width should be more when compared to the, at the crown level is more when compared to the cervix. So if you see this tooth, it is ulta. Always remember, this dimension is more when compared to this dimension, and here this dimension she has done at the incisal 1/3, which is wrong. Is the concept clear? Okay, so in order to get that dimension, again you're not supposed to trim this part, you are supposed to trim at the only at the cervical 1/3. Trim at the cervical 1/3. These are the excess material. That's why always complete the crown first and then start with the row. Okay, so since the dimension is almost less, so it is not possible for us to give lateral incisor, then it will become mandibular central incisor. Okay, because the dimension will reduce if I try to correct this. See, now it has come here. One mistake, saku, stop madam.